Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the City of Kingston's Historic Landmark Preservation Commission meeting. Today is September 4th, 2025. My name is Suzanne Cahill. I am the Planning Director for the City of Kingston. I just have a few quick announcements for everyone before we begin our meeting. Just to let you know, we are being recorded and we are live streaming, so I want everybody to be aware of that and act accordingly. If you have a cell phone, I'm just going to ask that you please put it on the silent mode so that it does not interrupt or interfere with the meeting. If you do have any conversations amongst yourself that is outside of those that you're having with the commission itself, we just ask that you please take them out of the room so that you don't disturb the other individuals or applicants. If we have an emergency, we just ask that you please use the stairs. And not the elevator. If you do need assistance, please ask and we will help you. And with that, I am going to turn the meeting over to Chairman Mark Rumblad to introduce the other commission members and those present and begin the meeting at 6:34 p.m.
Good evening, all. Thanks for coming out. And my name is Mark Rumblad. I'm the chair of Historic Landmark Preservation Commission. I will ask that each of the commissioners present introduce themselves. I'll start with you, Andrea.
My name is Andrea Putes. I am the architect of the commission.
Robert Tonner, Commissioner. Eric Winchell, Commissioner.
And Kevin, I can't see you, but I will presume you can introduce yourself. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there he is. Kevin?
Kevin McAvoy, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Ethan Dickerman. I'm a preservation administrator.
All right. First order of business is the adoption of several months' meetings. Minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review them? Are there any changes or additions to the minutes as presented?
The June 5th, you were not, Mark was, everybody was
Correct.
present?
Mark was not present for the 24th one.
The 24th one you were. Okay,
Yes,
so you want to take them individually?
Yes, I will, but I wanted to ask the question generally about amendments or changes. Hearing none, I will take them one by one. Let's start with June 5th. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make them.
Thank you, Eric. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Robert. I'll call the roll. Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Thank you. Eric?
Aye.
I also vote yes. As to the June 24th minutes, I will entertain a motion to approve them as presented.
So moved.
All right, thank you. You got those? All right. I will call the roll. Andrea?
Aye.
Robert? Kevin?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
I also will note my absence.
Yep.
Okay, and for July 10, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I wasn't there.
Okay. Thank you for noting that, Eric.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Andrea. Eric on the second. I will call the roll. Andrea?
Aye.
Robert? Absent, so you're recusing. And Kevin?
I don't think I was there July 10th, but I have no objection. So I'm good. If you're good with me voting, I'm good on it.
You need to hold because if he would, you want to check if he was there?
Yeah, double check.
I don't think I will.
You can't vote if you weren't, you can't vote to approve the
Okay.
minutes present.
All right.
I'll move on to you, Eric.
He was correct. He's absent.
Okay, you were absent, so we will hold off on the July 10th.
So we will roll that over to
Yeah.
next month. And hopefully Nettie or some other folks who are here will be here then. All right. Moving along, 57 North Front Street. Alexander Naimekia, have I got that pronunciation right?
I believe this application has actually been pulled for the
So we just need a motion to table.
All right. And I will move that we table that application. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Eric. I'll take the roll. Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Eric? I also vote yes. So, I know. Good. Next up would be 15 Ravine Street. Tara Kraus.
Bruce, yes.
Bruce, thank you. Have a seat. Give us a quick overview of your plan.
Yeah, so I'm seeking permission to install fixed windows in three, brick window openings that are in essentially the basement of the building. They're just boarded up. As far as I understand, I don't think there ever was any glass windows in there. Right now, it's painted plywood in there. And I think there was something, some kind of wood covering in the past. So
He's got that top behind you.
yes, so there's the three. Further down, there's some windows in there, but these three are just boarded up.
Okay.
So nothing would change, right? All the brick, all that stays the same. You're just gonna have a fixed window in that.
Rectangular window, or are you going to have a curve on top?
Rectangular is what the architects have identified, yeah.
Okay.
Are you trying to match the ones that are?
No, because these are frankly not very nice windows. Oh, we're just gonna do, and it's just gonna be a fixed window to just get light in is all.
To get, you're just pulling up the detail.
Light into the basement, yeah.
That's the interior view. This is what we're looking for. Okay. So it's just a single pane of glass. Pretty straight forward.
Yeah.
White trim to match what's happening next to it, I'm gathering.
Yeah. Yeah.
It says solid gold with trim.
Yeah. So what color are we looking there?
Sorry, I guess I had, solid gold
It's up on the left, call out,
on the left.
top left.
The little detail.
Solid gold wood trim. Oh, I think the architect just put that on there. As far as I know, the intention is for it to be white. Might have been a mistake. That's all. How I know.
And the solid. So it's just set in wood, am I following?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right, with a painted white.
okay. And is the setback of the pane itself meant to match what's along the bottom there?
You mean are you referring to the other windows?
The small window is what I'm imagining you would try and
Yeah, because it's fairly wide in there, of course, because of the,
thickness of the wall.
thickness of the walls, exactly. So it's, the window will be kind of inset a little bit, right?
All right.
A nice little shelf. Kids like deep windowsills.
They have
You have
nice
cats.
thick brick walls.
All right, any other questions for the applicant? All right, then I will entertain a motion that we declare this decision of type 2 action under seeker.
Robert.
Thank you. I'll add a second.
Second.
Thank you, Eric. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Eric? I also vote yes. All right. No, I don't. Here we go. Now for a bit of a history lesson combined with the decision. Here we go. I move that the commission find as fact that the proposed installation of new basement windows in the boarded up portals at 15 Ravine Street in the Rondout West Rand Local State and National Historic District, if done according to the plans reviewed The discussions had the procedure stipulated in section 405-26L of the Kingston zoning code is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. That pursuant to sections 405.26 L11 and 13, the commission determined the application and its supporting materials are complete for formal review, and that the proposed work requires a certificate of appropriateness. The work is to take place at a multi-section 1 to 1.5 story brick vernacular commercial building located on the west side of Ravine Street, 2 parcels north of the intersection of Ravine and Beale Streets, which dates to around 1885 and historically served as a storage facility. The owner is rehabilitating the building with the intent to add a basement residential unit that requires external lighting, and architect David Murray proposes installing new windows in the boarded up basement arch portals. The owner submitted photographs demonstrating that no windows exist behind the boards and that historical photographs do not exist to demonstrate the original detail or design of windows previously in place. The HLPC finds that the Secretary of the Interior Standard Number 6, applicable in this context, and I quote, deteriorated historic features will be repaired rather than replaced. Where the severity of deterioration requires replacement of a distinctive feature, the new feature will match the old in design, color, texture, and where possible materials. Replacement of missing features will be substantiated by documentary and physical evidence. The HLPC approves the approved basement windows as follows: as
Single pane with white wood trim.
single pane, white wood trim, rectangular with extra trim at the top following the curve of the arch. Any feature changes or additions to the plans and the work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application are subject to further review by our commission prior to that additional work starting. The commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this 4th day of September, our commission grant a certificate of appropriateness to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in her application for the commission. Such notice subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion and is valid for 1 year from this date. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Robert. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Andrea.
Aye.
Robert. Kevin.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
And I also vote yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too.
Right. Next up. 168 Fair Street. Artemis Niederhofer and Martin Manelli. Oh, thank you.
I'm Daniel, I'm the contractor.
Hi there. Have a seat and give us a quick overview of what you're planning.
So essentially, he has a porch on the side of his house, facing the other building, and it's currently collapsing. And has had various repairs on the roof. And so, yes, as you can see, it's dipping and someone's put a tarp, the previous owner had put a tarp over it. So we were looking to repair it, but realistically, we had to actually tear it down to actually repair it because the framing wasn't really built correctly. The framing is all horizontally based, and then so those columns are actually kind of sagging because there's nothing really supporting them underneath.
Oh, that's great. So they have a base of a column floating on the.
On 1 2x8 that's kind of overspanned and all sorts of different things.
Okay.
So to bring it up to code, we actually have to reframe the whole decking. And hopefully, I mean, we would ideally love to save whatever we can, but I mean, for years it's been leaking and there's many repairs been done. So like we really, realistically, it's just gonna end up having to be torn down. So we're looking to replace everything as is. We're not trying to change anything. We're gonna color match all the colors.
You're saying like the columns, the rails, the
Everything.
all of that has like water damage?
Yeah, so that center column is completely rotted out.
Okay,
There's nothing really supporting it. And the whole ceiling on the inside, the previous owner just painted it, but the paint already is just completely falling off in the time that you, Mr. Merlin, bought it, from just the water. So there's not really much we can do about that. It's lead paint, so
so where is the water coming from, like, at her roof?
yeah, so from here, on this roof, this whole roof here is leaking in numerous places.
Okay.
And realistically, there's a tarp over it, so I really don't even know what the condition of it
Okay.
is underneath. I know that the other roof, the actual roof of the house has several layers of shingles.
Right.
This probably has several too. I've noticed several different layers of plywood underneath it and.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want you to repair something and replace something and then not take care of the
Absolutely.
drainage problem if it's there too. That's
Right.
the only reason I
Oh,
asked.
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so one of the things is we would add a gutter if that's absolutely needed, but realistically, I think from what I have seen from the building, it's just the shingles are old and have deteriorated and there have been multiple patchworks on a structure that wasn't really built correctly in the first place. So there's a lot of actual shifting. So no matter,
Yeah.
even if we were to repair the roof, essentially the whole base is still moving around.
Okay.
So this gutter here, there's a lot of water running down through this gutter here. That's
Yeah,
that top.
Does that take the whole front of the roof?
It takes so over here on the top of there is kind of a gable end here, but yeah, pretty much
Okay,
this whole top section. It's quite a lot of water. So we would essentially run the gutter out and away from the roof.
just be careful you don't run it across till it shoots out on the other property.
Oh, absolutely not.
And
No, it would be able to come down that way.
then just come down the side of the building.
Yeah, within his backyard.
Okay. One thing we noted, that, and you somewhat mentioned it a little bit when you were talking, is that, with the new framing of the flooring, the floor joists are gonna be running now
Perpendicular to the house, yes.
perpendicular,
Yeah.
right? So the floor,
So right now they're running parallel. They're
Right.
running all this way parallel.
right, and the decking is perpendicular
So
to the
the
house heading out, so now the deck
Yes.
is gonna be parallel with the house.
so if we're trying to mimic the whole thing, we were gonna put in the 2x8 framing in between it to adjust for,
Perfect,
just to keep
Right.
everything looking the same exact way it was.
okay,
Yeah, the intention is to keep everything looking as close to what we can with all the materials that we have today.
Quick question on how you plan to handle the porch roof. Are you going to be looking to match the upper roof with the new shingles, or are you going to try and?
Yes, the color wise, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm assuming it's the same color. So whatever's on the actual roof right now is what I was going to match to, unless it's completely different than what's on top. And if it's completely different than what's up on top, I'm just matching what's actually there.
do you have a right pitch for it for an asphalt?
On that roof, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it looks pretty shallow, that's why I'm asking.
No, I mean, I think it's just a picture.
Okay.
Yeah, because there is plenty of
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, any additional questions from commissioners on the application? Kevin?
I think we're good.
Okay. And I will,
Well, the lattice work, it's gonna be wood,
Yes.
gonna be wood.
Yeah, just the same.
Does the lattice work in the house go diagonally? I mean, is it
No, it's horizontal. It's just.
on the house too?
On the house, you can, one of the pictures, it looks like it's on the house. It's the standard. X,
Down
right?
here,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's hidden, yeah,
You
that,
can
that
see
is
it.
hidden from view, but.
There, it's like a,
Right.
true. That I did not pay attention to that. I was going to match
Yeah.
what was.
no, and that's what
On
we'd
the
like.
actual
Yeah,
deck.
no, that's what we'd like, yeah.
Okay.
I know this is part of the end of the porch roof that's not visible from the public right away, but I'm moving the cursor up here and I can see that there's some decorative shingle siding, and I'm wondering if that's on the street face as well.
Yes.
If that will also be replicated.
Yes, absolutely. So that's actually the only real architectural detail on there. Everything else is actually pretty standard trim, but Mr. Merlin already had a carpenter take samples from it and replicated the exact same trim. So we already have that in stock and we have the columns already ready to go. And
Do you think the lattice fixed to the outside is original to the house, or was that a later change? It's kind of unusual. It's stuck to the outside of the trim. Looks like.
I mean, I would say it's part of somewhat the original. I mean, it was added on later on. To be honest, I don't know.
Normally if it's behind, it's attached.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Anything else? Then I'll entertain a motion that we declare this a type 2 action under seeker.
So moved.
And you get the second on that one, okay, Harry? All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Eric?
I
I also vote yes.
Okay.
And we await your history lesson. Thank you. Shall I hang on to the rest of these? Yeah. Okay. All right. I move that our commission find as fact that the proposed side porch rehabilitation project at 168 Fair Street in the Fair Street Local Historic District, if done according to the plans reviewed, the discussions had, and the procedures stipulated in section 405-26L of Kingston zoning code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. Pursuant to sections 405-26L 11 and 13, the commission has determined the application and its supporting materials are complete for formal review, and that the proposed work requires a certificate of appropriateness. The proposed work is to take place at the 2.5-story Queen Anne Victorian building with street-facing gable and north-facing side porch on the northeast side of Fair Street, one lot south of the intersection of St. James and Fair Streets, which is not present on the Beers map of Kingston from 1870, but appears to be present in the 1887 Sanborn fire insurance map. The side porch is in disrepair from water damage or neglect and requires extensive reconstruction to mitigate water infiltration and to ensure safety for the property owners. The owner proposes reconstructing the substructure according to modern building code using pressure-treated lumber. The applicant shall make every effort to conform with the Secretary of Interior standards for the rehabilitation of historic properties number 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, specifically that the proposed porch rehabilitation shall make every effort to salvage as much of the historic ornamental Queen Anne siding, railings, columns, and other character-defining features as possible in their original placements. Any publicly visible materials that are non-salvageable or non-reusable will be constructed out of Douglas fir lumber that matches the dimensionality of the feature it is replacing. The proposed rehabilitation shall not alter the orientation of the deck boards or any other feature visible from the public right-of-way. The porch shall be repeated or stained in a matching color, and a new roof matching as closely as possible the house shingles shall be installed. The applicant shall install a new gutter and downspout system on the porch. The rehabilitated porch shall feature the same lattice work beneath the porch No new features shall be added or removed without our review. Any future changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application are subject to further review by our commission prior to that additional work start. Our commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this 4th day of September, 2025, our commission grant a certificate of appropriateness to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in their application to the commission. Such notice is subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion and is valid for 1 year from this date. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Robert. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Andrea.
Aye.
Robert.
Aye.
Kevin.
Aye.
Eric. I also vote yes.
Must be a delay.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next up, 157 Pine Street, the applicant beverage. Are you Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir.
Hello. I am the only person here who was sitting on this commission when the prior owner brought a box of bones. It was kind of a shocking moment. He was planning on putting in a swimming pool, as I recall, and we looked at it and said, no, you're putting in an above ground swimming pool if anything. And it has been a long and winding road from his hands to yours, involving long, ridiculous negotiations with banks that I'm aware of, and foreclosures, and all sorts of wonderful work has been done on that side. So I want to salute you because it has not been an easy road. And I was there when we had no idea what was lying beneath the ground. And you probably know this story of Ed Ford digging up an ancient notice in one of the church records about a cemetery outside the stockade. He was guessing, if I remember correctly, around 1640.
Wow.
So those bones have been there a long time. And it is wonderful to see them get figuratively unearthed and not actually unearthed. So thank you for that.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Kevin has been doing some work too on this too. He's been involved. So Kevin, do you want to,
Yeah, sure. Hi, Ty. How you doing? The reason I'm not there is because I've been researching the burial ground all day and gathering all my old records from back in the day and comparing them to what you have here. And there's a couple of things that are I'm going to mention. One of them is there's a date in the Joe Diamond report of 1853 that got carried over here. That's not accurate. I've gone over that with Joe in the past. And I think you have a sign at the Harambe space that says 1853 too. It's a misreading of a deed. From what Joe told me, there was an intern that was doing the title work on the deeds, and they maybe couldn't read these old manuscript deeds, or they just got something confused as to west side of the street, east side of the street, whatever it is. But 1853 is not accurate. And I suggested that they just I have a sentence there to replace it with, where it just drops out the date of 1853. Let me see, somewhere in there they didn't put Maisha Tyler's last name in. That's got to be done. That's a typo. Let me see, on page 8, in 1866, there was a remonstrance. There was a protest against the sale of the burial ground by the village of Kingston, which preceded the city. And that's not mentioned. So I have some text for that, which I'm going to send over to Ethan. And I can send all this to you too. Right now, it's still in draft form. I'll have it cleaned up in the morning for Ethan. So we're missing the remonstrance, and what's important about that is that the community protested against the sale. The city moved forward, and by 1869, we had Henry Rosencrantz appearing on the scene. That he was the barber on John Street, and he apparently purchased it. There's deeds to this effect that he purchased the site, which that has the effect of showing that the community bought the site back from the city. All right. So Henry Rosencrantz, he is pretty well documented. Tyler Brook has done a whole biographical profile on him at the county website, and he was but prior to that, I think it was Nina Postupak in 2021 featured Henry Rosencrantz during Black History Month of February 21. So there's a lot of information available. He was also Sylvester's informant for the history of the 1880 history of Kingston. So Rosencrantz is a pretty significant person, I think, as far as it goes. I don't know if we want to use that term because that has significance in historic preservation, but certainly he's an important person, and he ought to at least get a sentence or two in there. So I'm suggesting that. And that brings us up to that also, I have a list of the deeds of Rosencrantz, how that worked. And then there's another thing with Ty, you may remember when we went with Jules Farr over to the Ulster County Historic Society out in 209. I had brought up to the people there the story of Jack of Marbletown, and this would have to do under the section for history of slavery in Ulster County and also in Kingston. Jack burnt down a barn in Marbletown. I think it was Broadhead's barn. The Broadheads were a big family out there. They came over with the English back in 1666 initially, and there was a Captain Broadhead that made himself useful by taking other people's alcoholic beverages. Yeah, that was one of his noteworthy achievements in Kingston. He got into disputes, and eventually they moved out to Marbletown, and Jack burnt his barn down. Jack was enslaved to somebody else, a person named Albert Pauling. The Pauling house is still there on the Hurley-Marbletown border. That's also very well documented. And there is a barn there, but we don't know if it may not be the same barn from the 1730s. So what they did with Jack, they sentenced him to be burnt at the stake. Yeah. And they couldn't find anybody who wanted to do this. So they had to come up with extra money for the sheriff to have his enslaved person do this. So there's documentation in the state provincial records to this effect. So I'm thinking we ought to put something in there about Jack, because he's not going to get mentioned anywhere else, as far as I know, unless it's in the town of Marbletown. But this whole incident, because the courthouse is here, it was tied up with other laws that they passed in 1732 regarding the courthouse. So that brings us back to Kingston. So I'm thinking there ought to be something in there about Jack. And I'll just throw it back at you and see what you think of anything that I said, if it's okay or not okay, or, whatever. I'm just trying to add to the history and make sure we got it done and we get some of the research I did in there.
Yeah, I hate to comment. I just want to go back to the 1853 date. I don't technically have that date on 1853. I have more of a date of 1855.
1855
Was that,
I think
was that
that
around the
you're talking
time
about
that
that
they
deed that
they
Joe
closed Front
references?
Street? Was that around the time that they actually,
No, they wouldn't have closed it until they opened up the other cemetery, which was purchased in sold to the city by Gilead Smith in 1858. There may have been a burial there in 1856. We're not so sure about that. That might be meant to be 1858.
Mhm.
I'm talking about the other down in Mount Zion.
right?
So we were thinking this was not disposed of by the city until after 1866, probably 1869, when Rosencrantz appeared. Yeah,
Okay. And also, in county records, what we found with,
right.
historian Eddie, there was we just found this out too, with some documents that's actually at the Persian House right now in 1848. That there was outburst from community members about Pine Street. Um, stating that Pine Street does exist, and that was, I consider, one of the first wave I've seen in 1848, where a community was addressing Pine Street burial ground.
Ah,
And that
is
documents
that in
is
here?
a
Because I didn't see
document
it.
the Persian House right now.
Maybe, maybe you ought to get that in this. You don't have much time, but that might be significant.
Yeah, so so basically what I started to see, I mean, you just talked about, I think you said 1869 about the community, but I saw 1848 date. Of course, Ed Ford and Joe Diamond in the 80s who done, a lot of work, to bring
You're
forth a
breaking
Pine
up.
Street, African burial ground. And then you have, the committee of the 1990s with, Reverend Childs and all of them, that
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
attempt. And then you come to us now, which is the
Right.
2019. So
Yeah.
that's four different waves of attempts and acknowledgement to address Pine Street.
Mhm.
With people telling the city that this is a burial ground and so on and so on, and stopping a lot of purchases and repurchasing.
Right.
Do we need somebody who reads Dutch? I've had that problem with property lines as an attorney. I've had to go back to,
I didn't when I was doing this. No, I don't think so. This wasn't the city minutes date from 1750. Whether it was used before that's a second question. But
that was my
you're sort of
concern. I thought it might
guessing
be
at that point.
from comments I'm vaguely recalling by Ed years and years ago now, so I don't trust my memory completely.
Right.
It sounds like the additions that you and Kevin are talking about sort of post-date the transition to English.
Yes.
So far, but
Yes, definitely.
the fact that I recall it going into the records of the Dutch Reformed Church, and that being the earliest dates. I mean, the 1600s may just be my faulty memory, but I just remember kind of going, whoa, way back when. Have someone spoken to the Dominie or any of has there been an inquiry into the records at Old Dutch?
Yeah, Lydia Newcomb did that. I don't think she turned up the 1600s, but we'd have to go back to Lydia and ask her. She mostly concentrated on later periods in the English period, and we were trying to do, both Lydia and I were trying to come up with names. At one point, Ed Ford, well, actually, it started with my wife Barbara. She said, "Don't you have any names for the people in the cemetery?" And yeah, that's one comment I didn't read out. That's a 1755 census. That will have some names in it. And the Kingston people are named in it, a good portion of them, not all of them, but some of them. And that would give you some names as to who might be buried there. But all that's in English. That came from O'Callaghan's history from the 1840s. He went back and he had some documents translated. But it's in English at this point.
Okay.
So if this is
We're
being,
looking at the trustees record for the Kingston Corporation.
if this is being reviewed by the state board on the 10th, is there time to do any changes or more research?
I think all we can do is ask if we can provide further information in the future. And I think they would not object to that.
No,
Yeah.
you have, I think, I mean, you can add some language. Kevin said he's gonna have some.
Yeah, I have a draft right now, but I want to clean it up before.
So I think we're gonna share that, Kevin, not only with Ethan, but
So do you want
also.
me to put this in the, you want this in the chat and you can look at it? See what I can do.
Yeah,
Might be-
Yeah, just for reference, the state's asked for a review, letter of support, or report on any additional, information for the upcoming meeting. So you can still, issue a letter, but also point out that there may be additional information that needs
Yeah,
included.
just put
But
this-
this is not preventing you from making any action.
This is not locking anything down in research. All right, that's important. I
I'm looking for.
am just thrilled to be able to support this personally, I have to say. It was such a shocker when I first looked in the box and went, oh dear. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at, but this is major. And you have really pushed this forward back into modern consciousness after it got covered over by a lumber yard sometime in the 1700s, as far as we can go.
The lumber yard would have been after that. It wasn't the seventh. It was after. It was 1875 to 77.
I
And
stand.
Allen was already acquiring land all around it.
Wow.
And so we're looking at the 1870s as to when it became when Palin was dumping lumber on it. Yeah, and you'll find the 1887 Sanborn's map shows where the sheds were.
Yeah, sounds right. Okay. So
We here notes.
I
Let's see if I can put this-
is this the text that we would be submitting? What's in the staff notes now?
no.
Okay.
There's a separate letter, but if we want to make some suggested modifications, Kevin, do you want to just? Can you
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to get it over onto the chat. Who can see the chat? I don't know if I can. I'm trying to get into the chat. It's not going.
Oh, can you put it in the share? Can you share your screen? Pull it up on your screen and share your screen?
Wait, I'm trying.
So while he's doing that, one of the most important things, which, we still need to determine is the exact date that Mount Zion was opened. Mount Zion tells the story. It can tell a story about Pine Street. When we can, identify the date of Mount Zion being opened. As you know, we found, the only full set of a headstone, which was Cedar Smith, who died in 1841. So, there's a lot there. It's a lot there, but, the birth of Mount Zion helps, as well to, almost, if not close, but, to the exact part of when, Pine Street was actually closed. The photo that we have is a photo of pretty much prairie land, open spaces, and that's the 1750 photo. And you can see the background, I believe, which is the oldest church in the background. In that photo. It's not a photo, it's a painting. It's a painting, I'm sorry. But, you know, anytime, so.
All right. Um,
Well, I mean, I guess we can, what I'd like to do is maybe get with Kevin's,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
additional,
email it to you.
points.
This
Okay,
is
that's fine.
starting
Yeah,
to
so
not go
if you
into the
can send
chat.
me, I think the best way maybe to approach it is we do have a
I'm
draft of
sending
a
it.
letter, but if we can get your stuff, Kevin,
Yeah.
you know, by tomorrow morning, you can send that to Ethan. Ethan can circulate it to everybody and everybody can, you know, have an opportunity to take a look at it, including you folks. And, you know, if everybody is in agreement, we can just put that into the letter, recognizing the additional dates and events that should be incorporated into the nomination.
with a
And-
statement just saying that research is ongoing
Right,
and we will submit new information
yeah,
as
so if
uncovered.
you just, you know, you guys can leave us an email of who you all want it to go to, you two. Joe, you guys want it, or, you know, whoever you want us to circulate it out to, then Ethan can do that once he has it, all right? And we can get a response back, and then what I would just ask is that, you know, the commission authorize Ethan to sign Mark's name.
That is particularly important because I have to spend the 9th at immigration court in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
So you can sign off for Mark and then initial it, and then we can get it into the state. Sorry.
All right, so I would,
I just emailed it out to Sue, to you and Ethan.
Okay.
This isn't totally 100%. It won't be 100% till the morning, but it'll give you a sense as to where we're going. It's 5%. It just needs to be proofread a little bit and make sure we got all the libers and pages correct and the dates.
Okay. I believe the
And
state
put
wants
maybe bibliography in it too.
to have this in by the end of tomorrow, if possible.
yeah,
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
expect emails from me tomorrow.
okay.
Okay, we're, yeah.
And tomorrow I
Uh,
will be in Hartford, Connecticut, so ignore me if I don't. Because I don't have things
Email.
over my calendar tomorrow.
Eric had yours.
Fair
He
enough.
had yours.
I will move that we authorize Ethan to continue drafting our support letter, including information that's discovered with a little note saying more to come. And authorize that he sign my name as president as chair of the commission. Second, all right, any further discussion? I will call the roll. Andrea,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Eric. I also vote yes. Happy typing.
Okay, I want to mention one last thing. This has to do with the other cemetery and the confusion between the two cemeteries. The county parcel viewer, what they show as the deed for Mount Zion is not the Mount Zion deed. It's a deed for an additional land from Huftaling on Pine Street. And I had to go read the manuscript deed to determine that. That's dated 1840. So that might tie into what you were just saying about people like appearing and making comments about the cemetery in the 1840s. Apparently they'd outgrown it by that point, so they got more land.
Okay.
I
Is
could
there
put
any
that in
other
there. We still have
information
time.
you
Do
can be
you want
helpful
me to put
with
that reference in there?
for purposes?
No,
All right.
we're looking forward to, September 10th.
All right. One question for you, Kevin. Do you have access
Yeah.
to the New York State Department of State Cemeteries Division info? Have you ever used them?
Yeah, this isn't there. That was done years
Yeah,
ago.
I'm surprised.
No, it wasn't considered a cemetery. What there is, which is cited in that document that I drafted, is Chief Engineer Hallinan from who was a Kingston engineer in 1948, wrote a letter that Ed Ford had given us.
Hmm.
And it describes the 1750, all the minutes from 1750, and then the remonstrance in 1866. And he thought the bones were removed, which we know is
Yeah,
not
that
true.
I can attest to.
Yeah, we all know that. But apparently engineer Hallinan didn't. So it's why you have to be careful using that letter, because it's an official City of Kingston document, and it states something that we know isn't true. So you're right. So what I did in my notes was I just paraphrased the sections that we know are correct and not get into whether the bones were there or not there, because that's a useless discussion. It's just going to take you down a bad rabbit hole. So I think that's sort of it for the moment with this.
Kevin, Anne Moran sent us some newspaper clippings, I think it was about a week and a half ago, that showed that, I think the city of Kingston was advertising the 1860s for people to come in and move their relatives as of 1957. And basically probably didn't happen. As a result of that, people actually thought that maybe there were no bones there, but there are bones there. We have found some situations where people may have been moved, unit 12, where we have some mixed up people, just little fragments. So some people may have come in and tried to remove a loved one, but everybody else is pretty much intact.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't
Anything
I
else?
wasn't changing any text anywhere except just adding the couple of sentences that I have. And it took 3 pages to document it, and I have the documentary evidence to go back with that. But so you're thinking some bones were removed. I would think by the house they were, for sure.
One person, but at the most, from what we have evidence at the moment, we have one person that's partial and jumbled up. That would be about it.
And that could just be from
Okay.
modern post 1870 activity.
Yeah, no.
Well, the house was built in 1927, correct?
05.
05.
Between 05 and 10.
Yeah, 05 and 10.
So those folks got disturbed.
Yeah.
Right, because
The house looks like it was on one of the Codwise maps from 1914, but building safety showed, and the assessor rather, shows a later date in the 1920s. So
I've seen 1920.
that's the house. That's not the burial ground.
That's what
Whatever it is, it was after Palin discontinued the lumber use. They built the house.
All right. I think that's it. That's all we can do tonight. Thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you for the hard work that I know was going into this. And it is exciting for me, having been here that first night, kind of going, oh my, what have we got here?
Yeah.
And now we know.
Cool. Well, thank you all for your work, and always, you always big homage to Joe for the work that they did. And one of the things you speak about is it was an honor, the fact that Ed Ford was alive to see it all happen before he left. So that was also great as well.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the absolute pleasures of serving on this board as long as I did was just walking down the street with Ed Ford.
Yeah.
Having him peel back centuries. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you and good night.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay. Yeah. We'll. I think Rebecca Martin has some of these documents on the Kingston citizens.
Okay, I hope so.
We uploaded.
The more we get, the better.
The court files I'm talking about. Yeah.
Ken Nystrom. I'm interested in knowing what lots of bones.
It was like a little cardboard box, and I just,
Was he saying that came from 157 or from 163?
I do not know. It was whoever was trying to put in a swimming pool at the time. When you talk about things having been jumbled, my theory is perhaps that's when even, I really don't know.
Because 163 don't have a backyard. Right. Yeah. We've only ever heard of one instance of 163 of bones that were recovered, and it's in the report.
Yeah.
During
Right.
construction on the house or renovation of the house. So this is the new story.
So this would have been around 1990. Yeah. Somewhere, I think we have to check our minutes.
Around 96.
It was in
Mark,
1990.
it was around 96.
Yeah. So, but the guy coming in with the box of the bones was, I would guess, a year before that.
I think it was when Joe was doing the reconnaissance level survey, like maybe closer to the early 90s. And then it came to this board around 96.
I'm doing the how old was my son at the time, and I'm not coming up with a solid number.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Stay safe.
And then there was Ellenbogen. You remember them?
Oh, right,
They
coming
were
out
involved.
of their building. Yeah,
Before
that's
they went over to
information.
Broadway, they were one of those.
Thank you. Good night, Nancy. All right, moving on to the scheduled rehearing for 106, 122 Green Street. I guess we should get to recuse ourselves. We're not making a decision
There
here.
is no decision.
So this is just general discussion.
Just really,
So this, the update that you read here, the timeline is as it currently is. With the exception of, as of today, we were notified by the ZBA staff that they've requested a postponement of the rehearing, which may have been granted. It's, actually it is granted. It's posted on their agenda for September 11th. So, any rehearing on the 106, 122 Green Street matter will be at some future time that isn't yet decided.
so they amended their agenda today?
Yeah, I will show just.
Okay, so, okay. So was she going to do a notice to those, like, how have expressed interest? I don't want these people showing up and then hanging out that night.
I honestly have no idea what sort of communications. All I know is that the lawyer had reached out, requested a postponement. He is not able to.
In writing.
They are.
So they put it in writing, so they requested it. We're not sure what
But I will show you just for you.
So presumably it would be moved to their October agenda.
Rather than being a separate.
Well, they could schedule a special meeting, but whatever is scheduled, they will notify, they're required to notify us because we were the original petitioners. The HLPC was the petitioner for the rehearing, so they are required to notify you of a new date.
That's something.
So you can see the updated agenda, postponed date to be determined.
And that's a disappointment.
And this also clarifies that the rehearing would be under 40526L10, which is the certificate of appropriateness criteria rather than a hardship.
That's interesting. Okay. Well,
Okay, can you, very interested in one bullet point that you have on here, which is the sample of interior work that was performed. The second to last bullet point, I could not find it on Unicity.
I don't know if that's posted on the public facing version of that, which is City Squared.
Okay.
I don't know if that's posted there.
Okay.
If you're not seeing it, it suggests it's not.
Yeah, that might be it.
But it is included in your step.
Yeah, I was looking for that before. Okay.
So number 7.
So, yeah, so this is we added this in here because, in the last month or two, there have been 2, violations or complaints that were reported to us. The first one was that the second story gable end and dormer windows at 93 Wall Street, the Van Steenberg house, were replaced. Those from photographs, it appears as though they were earlier wood windows, a date to be determined, but certainly predate, the 1980s and appear to be predating the 1950s in the property record card. The windows that are there now, there's some photographs that indicate they're modern Marvin windows. The property owner was issued a violation, informed they needed to apply to HLPC. They have done that. They will be before you in October. It's not a project that went before SHPO, so SHPO has not issued any opinion on the matter or clarification on what was the appropriate treatment. So the commission will have to, closely examine this one. They have submitted some photographs of what the windows that were removed looked like and their condition. And we have photographs of what the new ones.
They have been destroyed.
That's my understanding. And as of this time, I will try to get additional verification.
I remember cases, thinking in the phones,
Yeah.
at least the ones in the front. Gable.
And I think they had exterior mounted storms, or at least some of them did. And then 113
There's one though that they didn't do, right? They not do one?
I think you're right. I think there's one, but on
Yeah.
the rear that
Yeah,
they did not do. Rear maybe outside. And then 113 Fair Street is another one that was reported as having changed windows within the last within recent time. And so that will also be investigated.
So those are first floor windows? Looking at?
that's
Oh,
DAR.
it's DAR.
Yeah, that's 160.
Oh, so I think
Yeah,
that's a
right.
picture of the inside there, the trim off.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to look at it a little more closely because does not
I
do
think the
justice.
trim off all picture. Yep.
Yeah.
That's DAR.
I don't know that all of them are done. No,
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 if
just the lower front.
I can forward you the photograph
Yeah.
that were taken. It's mostly ground floor.
Yeah,
When did they do it? Was it during the night or something?
On the weekend.
no weekend,
Yeah.
Saturdays,
They did twice, 2 times, right?
Yeah.
Before you stop in the quarter and then.
That was after.
and then they,
I think it was at least 3 separate days. There was one weekend in mid-July, and then there were 2 consecutive weekend days, a Saturday and a Sunday.
all of which were after the, no,
The first one precipitated the stop work order, and then the subsequent Saturday and Sunday in August were after a stop work order was issued and after a judge issued a motion to show cause.
After she issued that motion.
Yes.
yeah,
And after her clarification,
yeah,
that was still in effect.
The clarification was issued after the second, the second.
So nothing's been done yet that we know of since her clarification.
Correct.
Hopefully nothing will be done.
To the best of our knowledge.
That would be. Right. So for 93 Wall, are they looking for a retroactive approval essentially?
It appears that they're seeking approval for the work that they did. Should be noted that building had been before staff for a desk review for in-kind roof and box gutter restoration.
Those windows were not part of their
No, I went through
No.
that
No.
review as well as the permits that were issued on or posted on Municity, and I saw no evidence of windows.
I assume it's a typo that you had, or lack, missing the word not, SHPO review was part of the project for the owner, you meant to say.
Yeah, sure, it was not involved. Yeah.
And then for 113, we're sort of in a holding pattern on that one.
That one is in hold right now.
That's the one with father.
It's
No, that's
It's done somewhere in Great Britain.
the one, no, that's 110. And they are the ones that reported the guy across the, that was the thing. The guy across the street did it.
Yeah.
Guess what? You just got your neighbor in trouble. So,
There's a few to.
yeah, we can, unfortunately, we can't ignore the fact that he that pointed it out, he had researched and, yeah, it changed. Building department will notify the owner.
Yep. Okay,
So,
and so moving on to NAPC camp training, our enforcement and violations. Well, that's one of the choices.
Following the last meeting where we were able to discuss this, I spoke with them and they granted us the opportunity to do the full 6 courses. So we were able to include the alternative option coursework that you had posed. So these will be our options. Based on the results of the doodle poll, it's the 2-day, 4-hour each day virtual training will take place in this room. 12:15 on the 23rd and 24th. And the thought process is that when people are together, they're able to, interact, sort of brainstorm, workshop. Sometimes there's programs where you want that sort of interaction rather than doing breakout rooms on Zoom. So collectively, we can gather here and get as close to a full in-person camp as possible. And it will include a number of different staff people from building and safety, I believe some planning board members, and potentially an older person or two.
All right.
And Robert, you were present for the preservation conference. The preservation lawyer who will be presenting to us is the same from that.
I said, I think it was Robert that said he was really good.
What you said?
I'm sorry.
12:15
I believe it's about 12:15 but I would just block
Yeah.
out 12 to 4. Right.
It's 12:30, but I think it starts at 12:30, or is it?
I have to confirm that, but I would just say block
And we
block
can
out
be
that.
here or in person.
In person here.
Yes.
For the virtual attendance is highly encouraged. If you're unable to, just let us know.
That way we can do group things. We're gonna hold hands.
That's right, I'm trustful.
Yes.
We'll create 6 different hand signals.
Yeah. Yeah, raising of eyebrows in a certain direction, it's like the flag.
Well, I'll review my semaphore from Boy Scout. Ooh, I like that.
Sounds good.
All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Would you like to make a second motion, Kevin?
You're muted, Kevin.
I can't sign it. If somebody wants to initial it, I'll make the motion.
Is that okay?
Yes, that's
Yes.
fine.
So,
Okay, then motion to adjourn.
All right.
do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Andrea. All those in favor? Aye. We are closed by acclamation.